Do you think most churches have a vision? Like there's 320,000 churches in America. I don't know how many there are in Canada. I'm sure there's a lot. So there's a lot of churches out there, right? And most are small, right? Like most churches are under 100 people or under 120 people or something like that. So and I think that's the cool thing about the church is there's churches of all different sizes and shapes and types and things like that. So you can find a place that really works and, kind of meets the needs of like your family, that community or whatever it is. But do you think most church leaders have a vision for their church?
I think a lot of church leaders would say their vision is to carry out faithful day-to-day Great Commission, Great Commandment ministry. And
right.
I don't fault them for that. I think there would be pastors who would say every church is somewhere between Acts 2 and Revelation. And so the vision really is every nation, every tribe, every tongue gathered around the throne. And yes and amen to that. At the same time, I do see Jesus having vision for his disciples, for his followers. I see all through the New Testament leaders having vision for community and a real commitment to looking at what's possible. I love 1 Corinthians 3, where Paul's talking to the Corinthian church. He says, I, Paul, planted, Apollos watered, but God brings the growth. And to think like, what if Paul had not planted in people's lives and there was nothing there for Apollos to water and ultimately nothing there for God to grow? And so how can leaders be invested and committed to dreaming about what might God grow in us and through us if we're faithful in the planting and watering? But I think in general, there's not a whole lot of energy given to vision. For small churches, solo pastors, bivocational pastors, they're trying to keep the lights on. They're trying to keep people happy. They're trying to keep services going. Vision doesn't need to be this sort of fancy, exclusive, impossible thing. Vision could be, we want to make sure every family in this community hears about Jesus. We want to make sure that every kid has the opportunity to have 3 meals a day. Whatever it is.
Right.
The vision can be right for your local context. It doesn't need to be some big grand thing.
I want 12 sites in the next 3 months and crazy. Yeah.
Delusions of grandeur. Yeah.
Yeah. How do you help pastors? I mean, it sounds like you work with churches who are generally kind of growing or healthy in many ways, but so are you helping them refine their vision and their values and right? Or is it like you're coming in often and helping them get those from scratch?
Yeah. So it ranges. Sometimes I'll work with the church for a day and it's just, let's talk about what's going on. And then I give them a report of what I see and some recommendations. And some churches I work with them for 12 months or 18 months. And I'm coming alongside and coaching the senior pastor and doing some team development stuff and actually beginning to help them put together the organizational infrastructure
right
for this thing to grow. I think after COVID, one thing I'm seeing is there are fewer, what's the right way to say this? Fewer churches have kind of these extraneous ministries that are just sort of hanging on for no reason. There are fewer things in more churches that are just, that thing happens on the side and we don't want to kill it because we really like the people who run it, but it doesn't really do anything for us. And so coming out of COVID, people are more focused. I think there's a higher level of conviction on the role of the church and the priority of the church. And we've really got to figure this out. And the church has a lot of value to bring to society. And we've really got to focus on what that is and worry less about some of these side things that over time we had let grow. So sometimes it is getting clear. Sometimes it is going back to the vision is now not just to have online church go and keep the lights on. We're out of that phase. And so we can revisit some stuff. I'm finding there is a lot of passion and there is a lot of vitality about reaching people, making a real difference,